What's going on, guys? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon, XFL edition. We are back with another video, XFL DFS Week 2. Plays, picks, rankings, matchup tool. We've got it all right here, right now for you. So if you haven't already checked out what we've got going on, go check it out, FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. A lot goes down. And I put so if you've been with us for the NFL season, you know that we had a matchup tool, and the matchup tool had a bunch of stats: QBs, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends. Then we had red zone reads. Then we had passing. I mean, we had a lot. You could pull those stats from ESPN, but then it took a few hours to put together to get all those stats in there for you. And with the XFL, you can't even find the stats. Like ESPN, they don't have stats for some reason because ESPN is trash. But I put that all together. It's completely free. All you got to do is go to Fantasy Team Advisors, hover over XFL, go down to XFL Matchup Tool, which we will talk about at the end of this. But if you have any questions at all about any of that, you can always email me, support@dailyrotoup.com. You can always tweet at me @advisors_team. You can always try to reach out down in the comment section of this video. You can check that out. So if at the end of this video you find it at all helpful, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you have not already. You know I haven't been doing videos regularly. Some of you know I'm gonna have a baby, but the reason I haven't is my wife is in the hospital right now. We're 3 weeks early to the due date, which was already 3 weeks early. So there's been a couple complications, but she's doing okay. The baby's doing okay. But if you comment, just depending on when it is, if I don't have a video here, you don't see an article for basketball, or you do see an article and I have my lineups out early, but I don't update them with people out, it's because I'm in the hospital. She's sleeping right now, so I'm at home with the dogs, but I'm headed there later. So these XFL lineups will be out, but I don't know if I'll be able to edit them. There's just things more important than this, but there's like a 20% chance she gets to come home on Monday. So hopefully that happens. But yeah, a 3-week hospital stay, I pretty much WebMD'd it, but I WebMD'd I Googled the cost of a hospital stay. 5 days was $30,000. So we do have insurance, so hopefully that takes, after the deductible. I don't know. We'll see. But it's not going to be cheap. So I'm hoping to hit it really big with XFL. But we're here. Everything's okay with the baby. Just if it is born in before 3 weeks, it will be in the ICU, the NICU for foreseeable future. So that being said, I am here with this video. Luckily, but having this happen now, it's the NBA All-Star break, so I don't have to be heavily involved helping you guys out for a week, so I should be pretty good. But if you have any questions about anything, I'll try to answer them. Please don't hesitate to ask. And if you guys would like to help out, the hospital bill, and also get XFL, I'm going to give you, right here, you can see we have $5 for the week, we have $20 for the month, or we have $75 for the season. If you guys want to do that at all, I will put out, there will be a promo code, XFL half month. You can get a month for $20, or XFL year. Those are the promo codes. So XFL half or XFL year, and I'll give you the rest of the XFL season for $50. So any little bit helps, guys. You can also donate if you want, but you don't have to. But I wanted to bring that to your attention. That is an option. So if you guys are interested in using that, email me, support@dailyrotohelp.com, or go to fantasyteamadvisor/plans, click on Join FTA Plus, use XFL half or XFL year, and it'll automatically take off the money. So let's look at the rankings first. Now, I post these rankings on the website. I post them on Reddit. And Reddit might be the most cancer area of the internet, the fantasy football subreddit. A bunch of people are just a bunch of assholes. Like, I'm helping you guys. It's completely free on these rankings. Oh, you're just using the rankings from players who scored last week. No shit. There's 1 week of stats. Or we could go back to someone said title it players who scored last week. I came back with, maybe I should, I don't know, do you want me to label it players who dropped out of the NFL, players who fizzled out, players who did okay in college but failed miserably in the NFL? What do you want me to do? There's no stats to go off of before week 1. I mean, you could go the AAF stats, but you can really, so the first day last Saturday, these games, you could really, it was kind of exciting. I mean, there are higher games and stuff like that. Last Sunday, the games were super boring. The thing has been to pound the unders if you are sports betting these. You can really tell the difference in talent from the NFL to the XFL. It's not good. So, if you guys have been wondering, if you've been looking, I try to give you as many rankings as I can. I've updated these as much as I can. I've been in the hospital every single day. These rankings went out a little bit earlier this week, so give me a break, okay? But let's look at it. If you don't agree with me, comment. Let me know. Don't come at me. It's not, I mean, the internet has made some people unbearably dumb. We'll just put it that way. So looking at this, quarterbacks, for some reason last week, you couldn't, now there isn't anything there. It's just there. So, I mean, you can look at the rankings we have. You can do it by average points per game, stuff like that. So, clearly, as you can see, we had some average for the quarterbacks, but 10 QBs. Now, the reasoning is right here. I've put it out here, but some players are supposedly coming back from injury. Let's say they get re-injured or they just suck it up. I could see them getting replaced. That is why there's a couple QBs from the same team. This is not the same as NFL. As we saw last week, the running backs had pretty much no say in the game. It was all QB to wide receiver / tight end, depending on if you're playing FanDuel or DraftKings, you could have tight end / flex. It really depends. So take a deep breath. Look at the rankings. If you don't agree with them, let me know why. Don't just come at me. But I really like Philip Walker. I mean, he had a great game, as you can see last week. He's going up against St. Louis. I like Jordan Ta'amu. Depending on what site you're on, he could be a little bit cheaper. But just kind of look at that. I mean, he's averaging 20.06. When I say averaging, that's one game. So that's not a lot to go off of. So that's that. If you guys would like to see the QBs, I'll just put the link to our website down below. Running back, same thing. Now, I added in Matt Jones this morning. He had a hell of a game last week. But he hurt his knee. He was the workhorse, then he hurt his knee. He didn't practice, I don't believe, until Thursday. Still got that, he went from doubtful to questionable. So depending on when you watch this video, he might be probable. Problem is, if he has a hurt knee, they might pull him early. So that is something to pay attention to. But this is what I like. And you can always go here and just hit all. And you can see the list we've got going on there for running back. So if you want to see that, check that below. Wide receivers here, same thing. You can hit all, but ones we like, love Austin Pro, loved him last week. I have Nelson Spruce, I think, in a bunch of lineups of mine. So there's kind of how you see it. some of these guys are, if you haven't looked at the depth charts, they're, I don't know the I like haven't looked at like the total roster size, but they have like 8 wide receivers on the team. Some are X wide receivers, some are Y wide receivers. Like, they get out there. They have a lot. So that's the problem. That running backs in week 1 didn't really do much. Wide receivers did. And then you get into the problem with each team has a ton of wide receivers. One might be wide receiver 1, but it's completely different than the NFL. So these are the rankings that I like. Could change. I have Cam Phillips in a bunch of lineups. I have Nelson Spruce, Austin Prohl in a bunch of lineups. Day Mornay, Pearson L. I do as well. I have Joe Horn in a bunch of lineups. I'm trying to look. And I'm going to build a few more today. I have Malachi Dupree as well. So there you go with the wide receivers. If you have any questions, you can look up their stats. It's pretty hard to find the stats, though. But I do have most of it on our matchup tool. Now, the matchup tool, I pretty much only put players that scored last week. If the players got 0, I didn't put them on there. 1 week is hard to kind of gauge interest off of. So week 2 we'll have more. And then defense. Now, people are asking, why don't you have a tight ends? That's because FanDuel doesn't have tight ends. They have flex. So they have a QB, a wide running back, 2 wide receivers, and 2 flex. DraftKings has QB, running back, wide receivers / tight end / flex, and then they actually have the defense as well. So that's why I have defenses ranked. So there's the way I like it. Anything can happen, though. We know the talent in the XFL is vastly, vastly lower than the NFL. Defenses can do a lot of things. I mean, DC had 2 pick sixes, I think 3 or 4, I think 3 interceptions last week, but they still gave up some points. So it's a very, very hit or miss with what we're looking at. Pretty much you got to get lucky with DFS, but that's why we're here. Hopefully it helps you out. So when you click on these at any time, you can just click on the corresponding rankings and then the matchup tool, which we will look at real quick. Anyone who has been around since the NFL season, you'll know the matchup tool is something we've got. You can see all of the information. You can see, I didn't really know what all to put in there. So if there's other stats you guys would like to see in this matchup tool moving on week to week, let me know down below. But looking at that, I mean, Cardell Jones had a 116.7 QB rating, PJ Walker 103.8, Jordan Ta'amu 108.4. Now, these are not in the exact order that I would choose them, so don't think that. In the season, or in the NFL, I was able to see how many fantasy points the defense gave up and how many fantasy points the offense scored. I couldn't find that information yet. That's how I would really order the players if I could find this. So if you guys know where to find that, please let me know. I scoured the internet. I could not find that at all. But then you've got Josh Johnson. I mean, he's supposed to start this week. If he gets hurt, will he be out? Probably. Same thing. Connor Cook, will he see some time? Landry Jones supposedly now is going to be the starter, even though Philip Nelson went 33 for 42, 79%, 209. No touchdowns, but 1 interception. So you're going to see a little bit different from week to week, but again, they've got, 10 weeks to prove themselves. And as you can see, like I said, running backs, they really didn't do anything. Keith Ford had a touchdown. James Butler had a touchdown. James Butler's from Iowa. Go Hawks. I mean, people paid up for... I'm one of them. Curtis Artis Payne, 2 for 6. 6 was his longest. Terrible. Just terrible. Christine Michael, I didn't even put him on here. He had -6 yards as well, and he had -0.6 or -1.6 fantasy points last week. Quentin Flowers is a little bit different. He's a QB, he's a running back, but he also plays QB a little bit. See if they put him in there at all. Wide receivers. you can see, while not scoring a ton, they are here. Sorry about that. Tight ends. I tried to put the tight ends there. Honestly, I looked when I did this. The Roughnecks, they didn't have a tight end on their depth chart. So this could change while they sign people, while people change positions. But yeah, tight ends really didn't do much either. You had a couple with, 3 for 6, 49 yards, no touchdowns. So we had a bunch of Brandon Barnes. He didn't do anything for us. Yeah, it was kind of upsetting. Then we've got Vegas. These are what it opened up with. New York at DC. Let me just double check to make sure that this is what it still is. But honestly, I put in a sports bet. I parlayed all 4 games, all of them under. I might get screwed on that, but I wanted to do that because it was very boring last week. Also, I don't know if you guys play PGA, but our lineup's killing it right now. I'm cashing in everything with it. So the Score app doesn't have the over-unders or anything like that. So let me sign into my sports betting and see what we can do. So, again, if you guys are new to the channel, please let me know. We will have baseball's coming back. Absolutely cannot wait for it. Okay, I'm going to have to change this matchup tool here. I am seeing that the DC Defenders are now a 6.5 point favorite. And the over-under is 47, so it dropped. Tampa Bay at Seattle, same thing. Tampa Bay's a 2-point favorite. The over-under dropped. The over-under dropped to 43.5. So this will be updated, so don't worry about that when you're watching it. Dallas at LA. Dallas is now a 4.5 point favorite and a 47.5 over-under. And then St. Louis at Houston. You've got Houston being a 7.5 point favorite with an over-under of 49.5. So that's what's changed a little bit, guys. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Now, these are the top picks. These are all here. I'll put this article down below in the description of this video so you can check it out. These are the plays that I really like moving forward. You can look at that, whether or not you're playing Saturday only, Sunday only, or Saturday, Sunday. Check it out. I don't want this video to be super long, so you can check out the write-up here, but PJ Walker and Jordan Tam, I have a bunch. I think every lineup of ours that are on the website as well, these are the quarterbacks that we've used. Or Cardell Jones, we saw him, obviously, but super expensive. Running backs, Matt Jones, he is, got that knee problem, so we're kind of waiting on it, but I like him. Nick Hawley, I like him a little bit more on DraftKings. He is a running back, but he was used as a wide receiver 1 last week. If they go back with that, you're getting a lot of great value because he's like 4,000, 4,100 on DraftKings or something like that. So yeah, I would definitely look at that. On FanDuel, I don't like him as much. Nick Hawley on DraftKings, I do like him. Then James Butler, Elijah Hood as well. Wide receivers, tight end flex, depending on what website you're on, put them together. Love Nelson Spruce, love Cam Phillips. Other players, Joe Horn, Day Mornay, Pearson, L. I said I like those. And then you can check the rankings down below. So if you have any questions, let me know. If this was helpful, hit that like button. Let me know how you did in week 1. But yeah, I would absolutely love to hear how you guys are doing. Just remember, if you don't see me, I might have any day I don't have a video on here, I most likely have an article. If I don't have an article, it's because I've been in the hospital and or the baby came and or I just haven't had the time for it. But my work gives me 6 weeks full-time pay. I'm going to have 6 weeks to help you guys out. Well, I'll have a baby, but when the baby's sleeping, which, babies sleep 100% of the time that they're, that you're awake. So super exciting for it. But yeah, so if you have any questions, I will try to answer them. It's 8 a.m. Central. We have, I think 1 p.m. Central. So we have some time. Depending on when you watch this video, hopefully I'll be able to answer some questions. And that's really all I've got, guys. So good luck this week. Hopefully you guys bring home that bacon. Let me know how you did last week. Peace out, guys.